We are live. So today I am here with Nurse Lee. She just graduated from Notre Dame University in 2019. Thank you for joining us, Nurse Lee.
No problem. Thanks for having me.
Nope, thank you. So Nurse Lee is going to talk a little bit about the nursing program at Notre Dame, like her experience. Maybe she can go over some pros and cons, and then later on, she's going to talk a little bit about some tips or advice that she has for freshman nursing students. So Nurse Lee, you can go on and start talking a little bit about Notre Dame's nursing program. Thank you.
Hello, everyone. Yes, as she said, I am Nurse Lee, and I graduated nursing school last May of 2019 from Notre Dame University. I got my bachelor's degree, and I'm coming up on a year of being a nurse. Um, I currently work at a hospital on a med-surg unit, and yeah, I'll just tell you guys a little bit about my experience when I was in Notre Dame. Um, it was quite an experience. It was not easy. I went through a lot of ups and downs. Um, it was a lot. So um, basically, I had my good days and I had my not so good days. So um, with the good days, I I took time to myself, and when I didn't have good days and it was just like I had days where I would be hard on myself, and like if I didn't get a good grade on my exam, that was just I felt like my nursing school journey was coming to an end.
Mhm.
So overall, the experience I would say was tough. It was competitive as well. I felt like my colleagues were competing with each other, so that didn't make it any better for me. But at the end of the day, I found a group to connect with at that school where we were all on the same page, and I got through nursing school eventually. Notre Dame, my university that I attended was a private university,
Okay.
so I also dealt with financial issues.
Mhm.
Um, that took a toll on me on top of what I was going through in the nursing program. So yeah, but we can talk about pros and cons as when I was a nursing student. The pros were that if you don't know what you're doing, it's important to ask questions. So
Yeah.
you need to definitely ask questions. As
Okay.
a new student, new nursing student, you're coming in blindsided. You don't really know what to expect. So I would definitely say ask as many questions as possible. There's no question that's not good enough. There's no question that's dumb. I mean, if you don't know the answer, you need to ask so that you're clear on everything. Everyone's on the same page. You're on the same page with your professors, and that makes things a lot easier when you ask questions and get clarification. Um, Another thing I would say to do as a new nursing student would be to get a calendar or a planner because you want to write down due dates. You want to write down all the due dates from each class that you attend because your teacher will, or your professor, I should say, will provide you with a syllabus and they already have due dates and everything mapped out. So if I were you, I would pull out my planner or my calendar and write down exam dates, write down when projects are due, research papers are due, care plans, things of that nature. Just write them all down so that you will be prepared to complete those assignments or study for those exams in advance rather than waiting till the last minute. Because I'm not going to lie, in nursing school, I was a procrastinator. I would definitely procrastinate on getting my work done on time. I would wait till the last minute, and that added to my stress. So I would definitely advise you to get things done in advance. Like if there's a paper that's due like near an exam. And that was a lot when I was in nursing school. There would be a paper due, and then like 2 days later there was an exam. So it's like, why not knock the paper out ahead of time so that you can focus on studying for your exams?
Right.
I'm trying to think of what else I did to help me through.
I have something to ask about
Sure.
you saying that procrastination added to the stress and everything.
Mm-hmm.
Because earlier you said something about the program being very tough. Do you
Mm-hmm.
think that's a feeling that all nursing programs have, or was it specifically yours that was extra tough because it was a private school, not a public school, or you guys didn't have the right resources, or other schools had more resources than you guys, or was it just like maybe it was the program plus procrastination plus not having resources, or what was really making the program so tough?
I would definitely say procrastination will make the program more tough. If you
Okay.
do not work ahead of time to get, not because there's a lot of busy work they'll throw in between. So
Right.
if you don't knock out that busy work, that makes it more tough. That can make you more like my anxiety was just, through the roof, and it's like, okay, I got to get this paper done at the same time I have to study for this exam. And like I said, I don't know. That's just how I would operate, is just to wait till last minute. I'm advising that you do not wait till last minute. Nursing students out there, do not wait till the last minute to get work done, because that'll make it less stressful. On top of that, yeah, the finances played a part as well, because I'm worrying about passing exams, turning in papers, and not having financial aid and them drop my class. Because if you don't, you know, have your finances paid, they're gonna drop your class. So that was
Right.
also tough as well, trying to deal with all of that. So definitely go to a nursing school that you can afford. Um, don't be like me and just accept and the first nursing school that I give you an acceptance letter. Like
Hmm.
I could have weighed my options or researched more on more affordable universities to attend, but I was so excited and caught up in the moment. It's just like, I just want to start this nursing program and get it over with. But then I ran into the whole finances in between, and um,
Did Notre Dame have any scholarships for nursing students to alleviate some of the costs of nursing school or anything like that?
yeah, they had scholarships, but their requirements, you really have to meet them to obtain the scholarships. So I did get some, but it wasn't enough to, you
Yeah.
know.
Cover the costs of a private
Yeah,
school.
yeah.
So do you think if you went to a public school, you would have had a better experience, especially with the financial costs and more
Definitely.
opportunities, more resources?
I truly believe that. Yes, if I would have went to a public school, yeah, I wouldn't have to deal with the finance part of it. That would have been taken care of. But you live and you learn. So
All right, yeah, that's a good tip to give people. It's like, because I know nursing school is a competitive it's a competitive program trying to get into that. So some people, like you said, might get their first letter and they're just like, okay, that's where I'm going,
yep,
but they don't think about cost. Maybe they don't think about location or
true.
room and board or anything else that might be important to them, just because it's like, I got in, let me just go there. I'll figure out everything later. And,
That was definitely my situation. That was my case. Yes.
wow.
So
Okay, well, I know at the end of nursing school, you have to take exams. And I know you said you take some exams like throughout the semester.
mhm.
What kind of resources did the school offer you guys for like test taking and exams?
um, so they would offer us there's a Saunders there's a Saunders book they would tell us. They would refer back to a lot. Um, I know it's Saunders. I can't remember the full title of it, but there was a Saunders book that they would tell us to purchase to do a lot of practice questions. Being in nursing school, taking exams, they're not your average exams. They're now what we call NCLEX style questions on the
Right.
exams. So now you have to kind of like come up with a whole new testing strategy. You can't do what you did when you were taking your prerequisites, studying and memorizing, and the answers are black and white. No, with nursing exams, their NCLEX style questions are very tricky because there can be more than one correct answer. So you have to really read the whole question and dissect it to know what they're really asking you so that you can come to the correct answer. Because when I was in nursing school and we would take exams, everyone, like when we would do the review after you take the exams, you get your grade back and we would review the questions.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody had an explanation as to why they picked the answer they chose. And the
Right.
teacher would be like, yeah, I see why you picked that. That could be correct, but there's a better one that could also, that, is the correct answer. So you have to choose the most best correct answer. When it comes to NCLEX style questions, they would refer us to go to the library and pick up comprehensive books that included like test bank, where you can just take questions after questions to familiarize yourself with NCLEX style questions. One of the resources I do remember clearly is Saunders, though. Saunders was a
Okay.
good one that they would refer us to.
And so, did the school pay for that for you guys, or was that something you had to go buy on your own?
Go buy it on our own.
Oh, wow. Yeah, someone else who went to a public university, they said that their school paid for, like, I think she mentioned Kaplan, like things like that. They would pay for sessions for them and for some other reviews. So I guess that is one of the key things that's different from private school and public schools. Maybe the public school supports the students a little more.
Yeah, and we did have ATI review, but I believe that was put in through, like, we paid for that through our tuition.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
So.
Huh. Okay. Well, do you have any specific advice or tips other than don't procrastinate, ask questions? Like, what else do you have for new nursing students or maybe students who are in the program right now already?
Yes. Take notes. Definitely take notes. You're going to be in long lectures. I'm telling you, these lectures are like 2 to 3 hours, whereas though you're falling asleep, you definitely want to probably grab coffee, whatever that's going to keep you awake through these lectures, because these lectures are very important. You have to be awake through them. You have to take notes. They're going to be, most of my professors used PowerPoints, and the PowerPoints, like I'm talking about 100 slides. 100 plus slides for the PowerPoints, and it's like, when is it going to end? But you definitely want to stay focused on those long lectures. Take as much notes as you can. If your professor allows you to record the lectures, definitely record the lectures so that you can listen to it later on when you get home. Just be prepared. Make sure you have all your nursing supplies, your stethoscope, pen light. I know when I was in nursing school, my favorite part was the clinicals. Going to clinicals
Okay.
and having that hands-on experience. I enjoyed that the most. Simulations, I enjoyed those. So I was more of a hands-on type of person. Interacting with my patients is what I enjoy doing. But just try to be prepared. Have all your supplies. Mark down all your due dates. Don't procrastinate. Take notes. And ask a lot of questions. Also,
Mm-hmm.
if you're studying for your exams and you're not good at studying by yourself, get into a study group. Definitely surround yourself with people who know what they're doing and know more than you, so that you can possibly study with them. Study groups are great when you're in a group of people who are serious and you guys have that one goal, which is to pass your exams and pass nursing school, rather than getting in a study group that you're playing around, or you're just talking about what you're about to do over the weekend. It's good to surround yourself with the right people.
Yeah, I know the study groups, like sometimes you can be in a study group and people start getting distracted. So how do you like reroute the group and get everyone back on track? Because you could have been studying for an hour or two, and then the last few hours everyone's just doing their own thing and not really paying attention. Are the study groups like guided group discussions, like you guys say we're going to do number 1 to 30 tonight, and then everyone's on the same page, or is everyone kind of doing their own thing?
That's the kind of study groups I would prefer to be in. Like I like a structured like study group, like have what we're gonna get done, so that we're all on the same page. Like we're all review, like we would review the slides, because you would have access to your professor's PowerPoints after they've reviewed everything and they've taught you everything. They'll give you access to it. So we would go back and review each PowerPoint and like have somebody who's more familiar with that slide explain it in depth. Or if it's practice questions, we would like take practice questions together and explain why that answer is right or that answer is wrong, and this is how you would answer this question. Like basically like teaching each other and like bouncing ideas off of each other is the study group that I would be in, that I would prefer to be in.
Yeah, that sounds like the best idea right now. But do you think, since we're in this whole online environment right now, do you have any tips for like the best way to have those study groups? Because like, I don't know, it might be hard for everyone to gather together and study the way you guys had studied. Do you think like Zoom or Google Hangouts or something would do that?
I was just about to say that. That's a great question. Zoom, definitely, since it's very popular. If everybody could like find a quiet environment, maybe in their home, and like get on Zoom and do your study group that way. Unfortunately, we've come to these times where you have to do everything virtual, and definitely Zoom or Google will be the best way to do that study group. Like I said, try to eliminate distractions, because being at home, you could have a lot of distractions at home. So try to like I said, find that quiet environment to get on Zoom with a couple of classmates to do your study groups that way. So
Awesome. That's a great tip. Zoom or Google Hangouts. And I think on Zoom they have breakout groups as well. So if everyone joins together, maybe if some people are stuck on one question, they can probably break out into a smaller group while everyone else stays in the main group. You know about that?
So I'm new to all of the Google Hangout and Zoom. I had nursing school face to face. So we would actually gather in the library and have our study groups that way, or like get a classroom that they're not using and do our study groups that way. So I'm not too familiar with the whole virtual learning, but it's possible to do a study group through Zoom and Google Hangout, definitely.
All right. Well, do you have any other final words for us? I just want to let everyone know that when people are watching this back, I want everyone to know that Nursely does have a YouTube channel. And on her YouTube channel, as you can see on the screen here, she shares pros and cons about different programs. Like, for example, this one video here that she just posted last week, it's about UWorld, and UWorld is one of the is it not one of the practice test sites that you can use for studying for your exams? So please be sure to check out her channel. I'll definitely put a link to that in the description. She looks like she posts on here pretty frequently. So Be sure to check that out. She can answer more of these questions for you, because obviously she knows more about all this nursing stuff than I do. But if you don't have any last words for anyone, if not, then I think that we're almost done.
So, last words to conclude, I would just say, please, new nursing students, stay focused, try to remain positive, eliminate distraction. It's going to get tough. You're going to have some bumpy roads along the way. But as long as you stay focused and know that your main goal is to pass nursing school, get through so you can pass NCLEX and practice as a registered nurse, you will be just fine. I just want you to remain focused, remain positive. Make sure you have a strong support system as well that will be supporting you and rooting for you, because that makes the ride a lot more smooth. And yes, thank you so much for having me. It was my pleasure to share with you guys my nursing experience.
Thank you so much for getting on here and chatting. So thank you so much, Nurse Lee. Before we go, I just want to let everybody know that they can go to my website here. The website is called schoolfinesse.com. You can go on here. You can join a group. Basically, the groups are laid out by majors. So you can go on here, and for example, if you scroll all the way down to the bottom, you'll see that we have a nursing majors group. So you can go in there, you can meet other nursing majors, and you guys can ask questions in there, get advice from each other on there. So be sure to come on here and check out the website. Make sure you check out Nurse Lee's channel and get some resources that will help you through nursing school. Thank you so much, Nurse Lee.
Thank you for having me, School Finesse. It was a pleasure. Thank you.
No problem. Have a good day.